Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Vampire Amazon Challenge in The Sims 4. We are following the reign of Queen Darling Cloudy Snarl, who has recently won as champion of the sword fighting tournament. Not only has this grown her prestige as ruler of the vampires, but it has put her in the perfect position to arrange a match. Darling knows the court has been experiencing unease of late and hopes that her decision will bring some sense of order to the chaos. With the whole court as witness, Queen Darling is announcing the betrothal of her son, Prince Zorro, to the daughter of Lady Akira, Dame Zuleika. In doing so, she will link the Cloudy Snarl and Dark Pounce bloodlines for the ages to come. While the Queen has made it clear that she'll defend the Crown Princess in her arch rivalry with Zuleika, she also realizes that as monarch, she must maintain relations within her own court. She hopes that by giving her beloved son's hand to Zuleika, she will appease Lady Akira and keep peace among the council. Prince Zorro himself is quite pleased with the match. He finds Zuleika and her mother to be far more admirable than Shannon and her daughter, and hopes that this news is just as joyous to his betrothed. He knows the Queen cares for him the most out of all her children and wants only the best for him, so he trusts in her choice. It's also reassuring to know that his most treasured sister, Nydia, is best friends with Zuleika. Zuleika is not quite sure what to think. While she has a good friendship with the prince, she never imagined herself betrothed to him. If anything, she's always been a lot closer to Yorick. She knows he's quite a bit younger than her, but she's always been aware of the history between their families, and some part of her thought they would fulfill it. The Queen handing Zorro to her despite not supporting her feels like a sorry attempt to patch things up and leaves a sour taste in her mouth. We are picking up at 1 p.m. on Monday, and I am very excited to see how everyone is feeling about the new betrothal that has just happened. We temporarily have Prince Zorro in the household. His father Baco has also been invited in the celebration that the Queen threw for the betrothal. So yeah, he's temporarily going to be here, Zorro, with us until we get this party done, and then he's going to go back to the male faculty. But I thought it would be nice to kind of have him present. So that we could get a better understanding of maybe how he was feeling. Like, I needed to look into his relationships to see how he was feeling about everything. And interestingly enough, guys, let's see. If we look at his relationship with his family members, he is really close to his mother. He has 100 with his mother. And he's friends with his father, but it's only out of 46. He is the closest to his sister Nydia, and Nydia is best friends with Zuleika. And then he doesn't really get along well with Zara and Nimue. Now, if we look at the youngsters that he has grown up with, he has a good impression of everyone. What's this? Arun and Princess Nydia have a difficult family dynamic. Now, they are father and daughter. In case we are confused. But I think for Zorro, most definitely, if we look at the two marriage prospects that he had, which was Zuleika and Vampyre, he has a way better relationship with Zuleika. Now, the Queen dislikes both Zuleika and Vampyre, but she dislikes Vampyre a lot more, so this pairing does make sense in that regard. Zorro is happy though. I think Zorro would far prefer to be betrothed to Zuleika than to Vampyre. I think in his eyes, the Brightpaw family are way too scheming, whereas the Dark Pounce family, they are more honorable and hardworking and more loyal to the crown, which is important for him because we know how close he is to his mother. So he's really happy on that front. Whereas with Zuleika, she has mixed feelings about it. One, yes, Zorro is a good friend of hers, but he is Zara's twin brother. And then she has 100 relationship with Yorick. She's been best friends with him throughout her childhood, and she has always been aware of the family history between Miko and Akira, and she, like, a part of her thought that her and Yorick would be the end game. you know, that her mother would recognize her mistakes and fulfill the love maybe she should have had with Yorick and Zuleika. So she started getting a little bit of ideas, or a few ideas growing up. And she does realize Yorick is a lot younger than her, and they would have to wait like a lot longer for any sort of betrothal to take place. But she had never looked at Zorro in that way. And so this has kind of come out of nowhere for her, especially knowing that the queen dislikes her. And she feels like it's a sorry attempt by the queen to make sure that the council is stable and nobody's really upset with her. She's basically not wanting to take any side, right? So I think Zuleika doesn't appreciate that at all. She feels like the queen is a little bit insincere in doing this, or she's kind of given Zara as a bit of a band-aid. That's how the people involved feel about all of this. But guys, I did want to take a look at some of the other ladies. So Lilith, she wants to finish a painting. So she, let's come here, let's scrap this. You can start a new painting. I don't think you can finish that because I don't think you are the one who was working on that. Now Lilith, she's kind of been noticing everything. Most definitely, she wants to stay out of it. I kind of like the fact that Lilith tries to help out when she sees there might be a problem, like when Caleb and the queen were having a romantic moment and she saw Shannon in the background. She realized that Shannon was going to kick up a fuss, so she quickly intervened so that the conversation went from romantic to being something that was, oh, we can paint from reference? Oh my goodness, yes. Let's try and do that. But she quickly intervened so that the conversation became like a group thing instead of a romantic thing. And so Shannon wouldn't have an excuse to single Caleb out. So I like that Lilith dives in to help out in that way. And I think her personal experience has made her observant in regards to this, but she's still not someone who actively wants to like participate in this. You know what? I almost wonder, because I do like this idea of painting from a reference. Hold on a second. Can we scrap this? Because I kind of want... One of the ideas I had with Anaya when she was alive was that she would capture life in the castle. And part of that was kind of moving the easel somewhere where we could actually go ahead, like moving the easel somewhere we could go ahead and capture things that were happening throughout the castle. But I'm kind of wondering if maybe... I mean, it would be dangerous to paint out here, very dangerous. But I kind of want to move the easel temporarily over here. Can I? I don't know if this is like how we would be able to. We might not even be able to do this appropriately because this giant plant is in the way. It would have been nice though if we could almost capture the fight happening between them two. Let's try and experiment a little bit to see if I can find a nice spot to reference a potential sword fight from. Or just any moment, but the fact that Zorro's here right now. Oh, come on. We might not even get there in time. Oh no. No. Hold on. Back up. Hold on. Where the heck are they going? I need to wait for them to go do something because I want to move the easel there and kind of capture that as part of the life that's happening in the castle. Okay, are they gonna play? We might relocate temporarily. Let's try and relocate this. Hold on. Wait, can I? This is so difficult to find a spot that's not gonna... Come on. Oh, okay. Maybe we'll go here. Because I wanna get something that's happening in the castle. I want it to be a memory, you know? We need to be making a memory. And if they're playing over there, that might be a fun thing for Lilith to quietly capture. Okay, let's see. Geez, where is he? Okay, we could capture this whole scene with Zara and Zorro. We might do that. We'll capture this scene with Zara and Zorro. Can we brighten this up? I don't think so. That's okay. We'll capture this scene with Zara and Zoro. The twins, the royal twins, after the betrothal announcement was made for Zoro. So yeah, she's going to work on that. That's going to be a nice memory in the future. And this was kind of the idea I had with Anaya, for us to move the easel when there were moments happening throughout the castle whenever she got the whim to paint. So Lilith, yeah, she's reflecting on this and that. She's observing things, but definitely staying out of any of the drama. So I'm actually going to let her work on that. And then when this is done, I can kind of come back and complete this. Shannon, meanwhile, oh, she's talking to Zuleika? Okay, well, Shannon wants to win a game of chess. So let's see who she might be wanting to play this game of chess with. Let's see, who in the household does she have the lowest relationship with? Actually, instead of going there, I might just dive straight to the chess table. Who does she have the lowest relationship with? It's kind of equal across Zara, and Zuleika. So I might have to just come here and check. So hold on. With Zoro, she has a 27. Azara, 27. Oh. And a 32 with Zuleika. You know what? Since she has a good compatibility with Zara, and normally I get them to play chess with whoever they have the lowest or worst relationship with. So I'm going to say that Shannon wants to play chess with Zoro. Yes. Because she, I think, wants to find out if Zoro might have a problem with this betrothal, because we know that Shannon has always been aiming to set her daughter Vampyre up with the prince. And she always had it in her mind that Zuleika either would end up with Yorick or wouldn't get anyone at all. And obviously she can't go to any of the ladies or to the queen to challenge this official announcement. So she is wanting to quietly invite Zoro to a game of chess and try and get an understanding of... Where is he, by the way? Oh, he's down here. He's still playing. Okay, I'm so sorry. Do you mind coming up? Where the heck is Shannon? Hold on. Shannon, why don't you... I mean, Bako's over here, which we don't want. I don't want to chase him away, though. It's kind of rude. Can we invite... Come on, let's invite Zoro. Zoro, are you coming up? Okay, Zoro's gonna come up. There we go. Now she has summoned him to a game of chess. She's one of the ladies, so he can't really deny her. But Shannon wants to know whether Zoro is okay with this, or if he has a problem with it. Maybe she's counting on the fact that the queen would have demanded Zoro be with Zuleika, and that maybe there is some, dissatisfaction that she can take advantage of, but she's going to find herself coming up short because, as we discovered, Zoro is actually very happy with his match, and he far prefers Zuleika to Vampyre. So that's going to be unfortunate for her. Quite unfortunate for her. He's not going to give her any breadcrumbs, I believe. So poor Shannon, all of her scheming is resulting in nothing. Okay, meanwhile, Akira, who's sword fighting with her daughter, wants to share insecurities. So let's see who she has the closest relationship with. She has a 42 with Caleb, a 41 with Lilith, an 81 with Zara. I'll count Zoro this time around because he is temporarily with us. A 41 with Zoro, 100 with her daughter Zuleika, a 35 with Nydia, a 77 with the queen, and 55 with Shannon. So obviously it's going to be with her daughter Zuleika. She's already spoken to her daughter about insecurities once, but she's going to talk to her about insecurities again. Is this where the insecurities are, or is it under deep conversations? Deep thoughts. It's under deep thoughts. So they're going to sword fight. I feel like this is also a way for them to vent out a lot of their frustrations, maybe about what's happening in court. So, okay, let's go. She's going to talk to Zuleika. And I think both Akira and Zuleika were looking a little bit like tense and unhappy with the betrothal. I feel like they both have enough brains between the two of them to realize what the queen is doing. And they feel like it's a disservice to the loyalty they have shown to the crown all these years for the monarch to treat Zuleika's marriage in this way. I feel like, if anything, a part of who does she actually prefer? Who does Akira prefer for her daughter? Let's see. Depending on relationship, she has a 41 with Zoro and she has a 60 with Yorick. Okay, so I suppose she has a good compatibility with both of them, both the boys. But we know that Akira has been conflicted with, her head that's telling her to pick Zoro and a heart that's telling her to pick Yorick. I suppose in the end, she and Zuleika both were leaning more towards their heart, which is, Yorick ideally being the one to be betrothed to Zuleika, but that hasn't happened. The queen has kind of made her declaration that it's going to be Zoro and Zuleika, which obviously the court has to follow through. This is supposed to be an honor for their family, but given the way it's happened and the context it's happening in, I feel like both mother and daughter are feeling a little bit uncomfortable by it all. They don't particularly like the way it's being done. Okay, our lovely queen wants to freshen up in the mirror. She, I think, is going to be a little bit oblivious in this regard and think that she's done like a really good job of actually keeping the court together. So she's going to want to come in here, freshen up in the mirror. And I think the queen's pretty happy. And even this sword fight with Zara, maybe the queen and Zara are kind of talking out her decision, and Zara's kind of accusing the queen of, favoritism or changing sides. Maybe she's accusing the queen of changing sides, and the queen is reassuring her that no such thing is happening. She's explaining to her daughter that I'm doing this to keep the court together, to appease the council, because Akira is a member of her council. So she thinks she's handled everything just wonderfully. And yeah, she is going to be freshening up, feeling really good about herself. Oh, Queenie. And obviously coming off the victory that she had in the tournament, she thinks that she is doing like an even more prestigious thing, because she's choosing this moment to connect the Cloudy Snarl and the Dark Pounce families together. So, there is that. Nydia. You know what, guys? I was thinking about Nydia, and I kind of realized that Nydia, if anything, she should be sleeping in her mother's quarters, so I don't know why she's here. But Nydia reminds me so much of the dressmaker in Bridgerton. Like, do you guys know who I'm talking about? Like, Madame Delacroix? She reminds me of her. Except I find Madame Delacroix to be very, very pretty. I feel like Nydia is a plainer version of that, but she reminds me a lot of the dressmaker in Bridgerton. Just a side thought I had, I was like, who does she look like? She looks so much like someone. And then it hit me. Okay, she wants to enthuse about Thrill of the Steel. Okay, so let's see who she has the closest relationship with. We'll again include Zoro because it's currently with us. She's got an 83 with Zoro, a 79 with Zara, 35 with Akira, a 66 with Shannon, a 97 with Zuleika, a minus 23 with her mother, Queen Darling, a 45 with Lilith, and a 17 with Caleb. So she's going to go straight up to her best friend Zuleika, and she is going to, let's see, enthuse about Thrill of the Steel. So this is playing into her personality of her liking all of the clashes that Zuleika has with Zara. And she's gonna go up to her best friend, congratulate her on the betrothal, and say what a genius move she played to almost steal Zara's twin from her. I think that would excite Nydia so much. So that's exactly what she's going to do. Okay, and now the Queen and Zuleika, not Queen, Zara and Zuleika sword fighting. You know, guys, I have noticed that oftentimes I tend to mix up the names of Sims, or like I'll be saying something and I really mean one thing, or I mean one person, but some other name comes out of my mouth, but at the time I don't even realize I think I'm saying the right name. And then when I go back and look at the recording, I'm like, why was I saying that name? Like, why was I saying Zara 5 times? I meant Zuleika. And I feel like I've done that a lot, but you guys kind of get what I'm saying. Okay, no wait, Nydia, no, Nydia, you need to talk to Nydia. You need to congratulate Zuleika, enthuse about Thrill of the Steel. Come on, this is like so exciting for you. The fact that your best friend stole Zara's twin from her, Nydia would totally be encouraging this kind of behavior. And I don't know how that's going to make Zuleika feel, but it was completely unplanned. You know, the Queen's the one who made this announcement, but in Nydia's eyes, it'd be like, Zuleika, you're a genius. Like, you're getting revenge on Zara by doing this. This is genius. Ay. But okay, that is all we have for the celebrations. I think now it is pretty much coming to a close. And we'll kind of let these ladies change out, see what else they get up to. Lord Yorick has aged up into a teen, so we're taking a look at him in Cass. He's gained the perfectionist trait and aspires to be fabulously wealthy. I think along with being really cheerful, Yorick grew up knowing he was very talked about because of his connection to Miko and his marriage prospects. All this attention made him really conscious of his manners and behaviors, which is why he tries to be perfect in everything he does. He also appreciates the comfort he's grown up in and wants to maintain that sort of lifestyle going forward. Interestingly, Yorick also likes pessimistic Sims. I think this is because he finds himself drawn to people who hold an opposite worldview to him. He's always been optimistic, and it makes him wonder why they think that way. In terms of appearance, he is a very unique blend of his parents, Jasminda and Miko, and personally, I find him to be very good looking. I think the timing of his age up is such an interesting thing, given that Zuleika just got betrothed and we know how she feels about all of it. And with that said and done, I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.